our last video, we talked about the typewriter and how that changed things for many people. So again, to kind of reflect back on that, up to that point, your handwriting could be the instrument that got you a job. It was a skill, it was a marketable skill, mainly reserved for men, and they were working inside of local areas. It was not done remotely, it was not repeatable, it was not mass producible. And then the typewriter came in and it shifted that entire industry, and it created new opportunities and fundamentally changed who was able to do the work. So we're going to flip forward into the 1950s, and we're going to talk about Katherine Johnson and John Glenn. So this was a time during the space race. If you're not aware of them, there were a lot of human computers back then. So there were both male and female. The females had started several years earlier, about 20 years earlier, I believe. But the point is that real hardware computers came in. Prior to that, these ladies had come into the workforce and they were doing hand calculations. There's even a statement that when John Glenn was going into orbit, that he asked for Katherine Johnson to validate the numbers that a physical computer had created. You can watch the movie Hidden Figures to see more about this story. Don't know if it's completely historically accurate, but there is some, it'll give you the flavor of this story. And I found it to be a very good movie, so I do recommend that you check it out. The point of all of this is that the astronaut who was putting his life on the line didn't fully trust the hardware. And I think that we're back in that position now. So if you look at artificial intelligence, you look at the things that are being produced, there's a lot of AI slop out there. There's a lot of mistrust in the results. There's a lot of mistrust from the humans about the computer, what it's going to do. Is it going to replace me? Is it going to empower me? What is it going to do? And so again, looking back to the Hidden Figures movie and looking back to the NASA human computers, there was a shift that they had to go through. So up until that time, they were very skilled resources. They fit into a specific niche, and that gave them the opportunity, right? And then a computer came in, and the computer could actually calculate faster and do more calculations. And why that was important is because two things. One, in terms of time, the space race was on. Obviously, Sputnik was a big concern for the United States, and so the United States was trying to accelerate their own developments. And so human calculators could take days to do very complex calculations. I mean, they're very, very time consuming. And so when the physical computer came in, it reduced the cost per calculation, and that's a very important metric. Now you could do what-if scenarios. You could throw math at things. You could get results. You could validate those and see if they actually met the need that you had. And so it allowed NASA to do more exploratory calculations than they could do previously, and that accelerated their ability to answer the questions that they needed answered to have successful space flights. So when we look at AI today, we're kind of in that position right now. The AI can do things very quickly, but they still need some validation. And right now, there's a lot of mistrust in the data that's coming out. And so our position as, especially as IT people, is to take our skills that we've developed over many years and apply those into AI. It's not that different from other technological advancements. A lot of the disciplines that we use today still apply even in the AI age. So large, complex IT projects, the discipline around those, the people, the education, making sure that your data is accurate, make sure that it is complete, those things, they still all apply. And so now's the time to make the shift similar to what the human computers made back in the 1950s. So in the 1950s, as they saw the computer coming in, there was obviously a little bit of a fear about being replaced by this machine, but it was also a new opportunity. If you were in that industry and you wanted to be the best, you wanted to have the best quality, you wanted to be the fastest throughput, you had the best ideas, then the computer became a tool to accelerate what you were doing. And that's what we're experiencing right now with artificial intelligence. People who embrace it, who use it to their advantage, they see the potential of it, right? And so they're going to be the ones who are accelerating, using a new tool, and eventually you're going to outpace the people who are more resistant. There's a lot of responsibility on leadership to set that foundation in place, to make sure that they're handling the human element of artificial intelligence programs. And we will dig more into that later, but for now, I just wanted to get this video out there, talk about the shift in the 50s to using actual physical computers, where there were human computers prior to that, and then how those human computers embrace the technology to further advance themselves and keep themselves relevant. So again, if we look to the past, we can start to plot the future. And so my goal is to help you do that. On the next video, we will go into, I think we'll talk about virtualization. We might talk a little bit about Linux and some of the things that have changed with those two platforms. And then we'll get ready to jump into the actual artificial intelligence arena, talk about where we're at today, talk about what's successful in the market, and we will go from there. So thanks for joining us.